Oh boy. Okay, guys. So before we dive in, I gotta say that my dog, Henry, has been very concerned about all the people taking weight loss pills. Right, Henry? He told me that if your weight loss plan and your food plan has you pooping your pants and losing muscle all the time, maybe it's not a plan. Okay. Henry probably didn't say that. But it's true. I wanted to create this video, you guys, to show you guys the sketchy history of weight loss pills so you can make your own decision about taking that stuff, okay? So, I mean, it's been going on probably forever, I don't know, but for at least the last 100 years, I pulled some research from that, okay? And spoiler alert, most of it ends with lawsuits, hospitals, and oily underwear. I went to the Hearst Castle last summer, and they were talking about people used to smoke all the time back then, 100 years ago, right? 80 years ago. It was a thing. It was a fad, right? And they didn't think it caused people to get sick or anything. But they said that people thought that it helped them lose weight. So of course, more people were probably smoking, right? So the dark slimming trick, it was called, right? Like in the early 1900s through the 1950s, right? Smoking was actually marketed as a weight loss tool, right? Ads told women to reach for a Lucky instead of a sweet, claiming cigarettes help you stay thin. It worked because nicotine suppresses appetite and slightly boosts metabolism. But the price, right? Well, addiction, lung cancer, heart disease, and early death. What started as a diet trend turned into one of the deadliest health disasters in history. In the 1930s, right? Apparently there's a chemical used in explosives, right? That also burned fat and people. But it became banned, right? Eventually. It's called DNP or something. But then there's another, in the 1950s through 1970s, right? People were using amphetamines. Most people became skinny, but insane also. They were highly addictive, of course, also, okay? But then in the 1990s, there was a weight loss pill called fen-phen, right? It was super popular, right? But it came with heart valve damage, lawsuits, and lots of tears. And the reason why I'm telling you that is because that happened to my family. Okay, I have an aunt that just passed away. She won a lawsuit against fen-phen, like $1 million. She had some problems from that drug, right? So then in the 2000s through 2010s, right? There was this stuff called like Orlistat or something, and it was basically AKA the oily disaster diet, they called it, right? And 𝐷𝐆𝐷𝐾, okay, which was pulled for cancer risks, right? And then now 2020, right? You have this things called, we have this one called Ozempic, you have this other one called Wegovy, and another one called Mounjaro, right? And so these are the ones nowadays that are popular. But what do the experts really think about these weight loss pills, right? Well, Dr. Berg, he says that weight loss pills don't fix insulin issues or bad habits. Some of the mainstream doctors were saying that some meds work, but not alone. And other doctors were saying that most over-the-counter stuff is hot garbage. And then losing muscle and bone, that's not a healthy weight loss plan. On the Joe Rogan podcast, he was interviewing a guy named Chris Williamson, who has a good podcast also. You might want to check him out. Pretty good stuff. And Williamson actually called out the flip-flop body positivity to Ozempic overnight deal, right? Like all of a sudden overnight, you're gonna be able to get that weight off, right? And then Rogan was saying that he thinks Ozempic can help, if people are if they need it that badly to lose the weight, right? And then they change their habits, right? As long as they change their habits and they lift weights too. They both warned about muscle loss, right? Side effects like vomiting and pancreatitis. And then the risk of just shrinking, not getting stronger. The real problem with the shortcut culture, right, is that we've been chasing magic pills for a century, and every time it ends the same way. Shortcuts don't build habits, shortcuts don't build self-control, and shortcuts don't build muscle. True change, it's earned through effort, through food, through movement, and through mindset. Maybe Ozempic or Mounjaro can help people, but only if you're also doing the work. Because otherwise, you're just spending a ton of money to feel nauseous and lose your biceps. You want results? Ask yourself, right? Am I fixing my habits? Or just outsourcing the hard part to a needle? And trust me, right? My dog will respect you more if you stop trying to outsmart your metabolism.